Welcome to Exercise 9, entitled Inferring Biogeographical Histories Using S-DIVA. Okay, so what is biogeography? In its simplest meaning, it is the study of distribution of organisms. It is often intertwined with other disciplines such as general bio, geography, and paleontology, or the study of fossils. Why do we need to study biogeo? It sheds light on the natural habitats around the world. It is also essential in understanding why species are in their present locations and in developing protecting the world's natural habitats. It also allows us to answer the following. First, what allows a species to thrive in its area? And what prevents it from colonizing other areas? Is it because of food or the presence of geographical features such as mountains? Next is we can also infer the species' closest relatives and where they can be found. Lastly, how can the historical events shape a species distribution? Presented are the two divisions of biogeo. Putting time as our basis, biogeo can be divided to ecological biogeo, or the study on how the species are distributed and what are its possible short-term ecological impacts, and historical biogeo, or the study in which how the species are distributed based on the consequences of different historical events. We will focus more on historical biogeo in this exercise. Historical biogeo can give you a glimpse on deciphering the origins, the ancestors, the family tree of these organisms, and by associating the historical events over geological periods that shape the organism's distribution and its pattern of evolution. There are two key processes that help shape the distributions of these organisms: dispersal and vicariance. These two processes do lead to this disjunction, which is a discontinuous range of closely related taxa but separated by a wide geographical distance. One of the key processes is dispersal. As the term suggests, this is the movement of organisms or populations from a point of origin into another environment. This is caused by the following factors. First, to lessen intraspecific competition, whereby the same species compete for limited resources, such as food. This leads to a reduction of fitness for both individuals. Thus, the most fit individual survives and can reproduce. Next is that overpopulation leading to congestion. It is the lack of habitat space in a certain area that leads organisms to find a bigger environment. Lastly is to be able to search for new resources and suitable habitat. Examples of dispersal are the following. The elephant swimming is an example of active dispersal, whereas the floating coconut, the tumbleweed, and the bird riding the log are all examples of passive dispersal. Lastly, the fleece attached to the dog is an example of facilitated dispersal. Another process is vicariance. This occurs through the formation of natural barriers, plate tectonic movements, or natural disasters. This kind of isolation brings forth different but related species separately. Let's take for an example the southern beach, or the Nothofagus sp, which are native to both South America and Australasia. Could it be possible that these two countries are once joined together? One good study to whether the geckos are distributed by dispersal or vicariance is entitled, "Did the geckos ride the Palawan raft to the Philippines?" Studies show that 30 million years ago, the land mass in which we now call Palawan is part of a bigger mainland. As 10 million years progresses by and the plate starts to move, it could be observed that a land of mass we now call Palawan emerges, bringing with it some species of geckos. Now, is it dispersal or vicariance? Presented are the recent developments and studies that have revamped biogeo in the 20th century. Plate tectonics theory is now accepted. New phylogenetic techniques and the data are published. New and improved methods of ecological research is starting to bud off, and that investigation in the factors limiting distribution are now being studied upon. A new software called S-DIVA, or the Statistical Dispersal Vicariance Analysis, was published by Yu et al. It was implemented in RASP software, and that quantitative approach to recreate ancestral distributions using both phylogenetic and distributional data were implemented. The objectives of the study are as follows: understanding the different mechanisms that drove the evolution and the geographical distributions of these organisms. Next is learning how biogeographical origins are inferred using S-DIVA and RASP. Lastly is to be able to infer biogeographical origins of the investigated taxa. Alright, so prior to the analysis in RASP, it will require you to have the following datasets. First, the distribution file, the .csv. Next is the trees dataset, .trees. And lastly, a condensed tree, .tree. So, how to create your distribution file? It is important to note where your operational taxonomic units or O2s were collected. For example, in a journal article, it may provide you with the accessions of the organisms together with their respective localities, in which where are they collected. You can also look it up in GenBank for the collection details of the accession. The current later version of the RASP software that we are using is version 4.2. Some laptops won't be able to load the current version, thus you can download the older version of the software. Okay, so when you download the RASP software, you can see a sample Excel file under RASP tutorials, examples, psychotria, tree states, distribution.csv. Following the same format, the first column contains number depending on the amount of your O2s in the phylogenetic analysis. On the second column, fill in the taxon names in no particular order that are included in the phylogenetic tree. Names must match with the phylogenetic analysis and the distribution files. It would be best to simplify the name of the O2s as early as possible, separating the names with an underscore. The third column will represent the origin where the taxon was collected, to be represented by letter. It is important to note on how you are going to divide the areas based on the distribution of your O2s. For example, if your study is focused on the Philippine species, you can divide the areas based on the major islands. If it involves several countries in the Southeast Asian region and the Pacific, you can divide them by the countries. In the sample distribution file, the Psychotria species were collected in several areas in the Pacific. While creating your distribution file, you can also add a legend per island or country for you not to be confused with interpreting the results later on. Save your distribution file in .csv format. Then close the Excel program. Next, open your RASP software. Click on File, Load Trees, Load Trees More Format, then select on the tree dataset or .trees. Next is to load the distribution file. Click on File, then Load States Distributions, then select your distribution file in .csv format. Next is opening up your condensed tree. Click on File, Load Consensus Tree, then load User Specified Tree or the .tree file. On the text box located on the lower part of the interface, it shows a confirmation that your condensed tree has been loaded successfully. Moving on the right side of the interface, you can find the tree option and the status box of your data. Under the tree option, the amount of tree will depend on how many trees were generated and stored on your .trees file. In our example, it was set to 1001. The binary trees, at default, are equal to the amount of trees. In the Discard Trees box, you may choose to discard a portion of the amount of trees, as this will discard the first set of tree generated from your phylogenetic analysis, before or after load, well, depending on your preference. Random trees represent the number of trees that will be sampled in the analysis. The default value for this one is 100. After tweaking the Set Tree options, click on the Check Status button. You may begin analysis once a passed status has been indicated in S-DIVA final states. To begin the analysis, click on Reconstruction, on Trees, then S-DIVA. This will lead you to another interface bearing the settings for the S-DIVA analysis. On the right portion of the latest version of RASP, you can locate the Include/Exclude options. You can choose to include or exclude ranges or combination of ranges from the calculation. For our analysis, just leave it to default. On the lower part of the interface, you will find the option Max Areas at each node. Leave it to default at 4 max areas. Be sure to tick the Allow Extinctions low and leave the rest at default. Then click OK to begin analysis. The current interface will close and will bring you back to the main interface. The text box below will indicate if the analysis has ended. To view the results, click on Graphic, Tree View. Then this will show you a new interface with the resulting tree diagram with distributions at each node. At the left side of the interface, it will show you the node IDs. Clicking on a node ID will highlight the node found in the tree with a red circle. The different colors represent different ranges and range combinations attributing to the possible origins of the clades. If there are 2 or more colors in a node, it represents different possible ancestral origins of the clade. For now, leave it highlighted on Optimal Reconstruction. Then click on the Information tab. This tab will show you all the different event information that possibly happened in a node, including the event routes, probabilities, and a summary of global events. At the bottommost portion, you will see checkboxes under Highlight Events. By clicking on Dispersal, the nodes at the tree will be highlighted in a blue circle, Vicariance in green, and Extinction in yellow. This provides you a graphical representation of such events in your tree output. By the way, the tree is highly customizable. You can go to the View tab to edit or change some aspects of the tree diagram based on your preference. It is recommended to present the tree with topology only selected under the View tab. Once you have finalized your result, you can now save your work. If you want to save your current progress and open it again, or If you are satisfied with your tree diagram, you can export the tree image under File, Export Graphic, and then Export Tree. Voila! You have your resulting tree. So now you have your exported graphic. These trees will now be used for your report. Open the graphics file and interpret the resulting tree. What do you mean by these relationships now? Check the original journal as your guide and interpret your new set of data. That's it for BioGeo. Good luck and thank you. Stay safe.